Ladies and gentlemen, every business will face customer problems. The question is, will those customers give that business a second chance? What I would like to do today is share with you 3 key learnings that I have from spending 10 years solving customer problems in the luxury hospitality. And I would also like to share with you a framework that I've developed to answer each of those 3 individual needs. First and foremost, customers want to feel understood when they experience a problem. They want to feel important. They want to feel that their problem is important in the eyes of the business. And they want to feel cared about, first and foremost. Secondly, of course, they expect a solution. Right? There is a problem, they expect a solution. They expect a solution that will at least meet their expectations. I will explain later. Last but not least, when a customer experiences a problem, trust is gone. The relationship is broken. When you buy a product or a service, something goes wrong, what happens? The relationship is broken. In order to answer those 3 needs, I have created the CRR framework, which is connect, resolve, and repair. Before I delve into that framework, I would like to share with you why I've decided to pick this topic and why I think it is extremely relevant. First of all, we live in a world that is extremely competitive. The world is extremely interconnected. We have easy access to information, literally at our fingertips, ladies and gentlemen. If we have easier access to information, we also have easier access to substitute products or services. Today, those substitute products or services tend to be of higher quality because of the tools, the know-how, the technology that we have developed over the last 50, 60 years. If you do not take care of your customers, they will walk away into the sunset. Clouded sunset, but yet a sunset. They will leave. The second reason is a little bit more personal. I very much enjoy turning this into this. It is extremely rewarding. It's extremely satisfying. It's just nice to make people happy, ladies and gentlemen. I remember one of the first stories where I was able to put this into practice. It was in Tenerife, my first hotel, and I met a couple that were celebrating their anniversary. They booked the fish and seafood restaurant. Beautiful sea view, excuse me. When they got there for their reservation, unfortunately, the reservation wasn't there. There was a mistake, there was a breakdown in the reservation process, so unfortunately, the restaurant could not accommodate them. The easy solution there is to say, we're sorry, we'll book you tomorrow. We'll book another restaurant. We have a nice steakhouse available for you. This is the definition of a solution-centric approach to problem handling. You put the business first, not the needs of your customer. What we did, we said, no, we're not going to fall in that trap. We're really going to do something that will make their experience even better. We went to the presidential suite, organized a dinner on the balcony, as beautiful of an ocean view as you can get, and we served them the same menu as the fish and seafood restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going from a problem into an opportunity to turn a dissatisfied customer into a loyal one. Let's go back to the framework I spoke to you about. Remember, first and foremost, customers want to feel understood. That's why we have to connect on an emotional level. And how do we do that? By demonstrating active listening, demonstrating empathy, and providing a sincere apology. Let's break this down. Active listening is simply listening to understand, not listening to be understood. All right? There is 3 things that you want to learn here, or that you want to achieve, better said. 1, you want to calm the guest down. Oftentimes, when he or she experiences a problem, he or she is upset. Give some space. Secondly, you want to learn more about the problem. You still have to fix the problem in step number 2. The more you understand the problem, the better you can solve it. And 3, you want to learn how the customer is feeling. Remember, our job here is to connect on an emotional level. When you apologize, a sincere apology is using a I statement. You want to take ownership of the customer problem. He doesn't care. Who made the problem? What is the reason? Come up with excuse, yes, but housekeeping, no, the provider, no, DHL. He wants somebody to take care of his problem. And guess who that is? That's you. I sincerely apologize, Mr. or Mrs. Smith. My name is Yannick, and I will do everything I can to turn this around. This is how you connect on an emotional level. Empathy. Empathy, empathy. Everybody knows what empathy is, right? But do you know how to demonstrate empathy? That is where I think things get a little bit more tricky, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you a little story on how I learned the hard way how to connect on an emotional level. It was in Aruba, 2016. I was covering the desk for one of my team members. I was front office manager back in the day. And we had quite an early arrival coming from New York, red-eye arrival. Was landing in the airport around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. We could expect them between 10 and 11 a.m., right? Checkout time, usually in a resort, 12, noon. Check-in time, 3, 4 p.m. It's 10 a.m. Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins walk into the hotel with baby Jenkins. There were 3. Mrs. Jenkins, and baby Jenkins go sit down. I start checking in Mr. Jenkins. Everything is going great. We're having a nice conversation. Everything was really wonderful up to the moment that I tell him, Mr. Jenkins, I would like to apologize, but unfortunately, I do not have a room available for you yet. This is unacceptable. I want my room. I said, I understand. The typical empathy statement that they teach us is, I understand. I said to him, I understand. But I don't have a room. Yes, but this is unacceptable. I'm spending so much money. I'm here now. My kid is tired. I want my room. I understand, Mr. Jenkins. I understand. Until the moment he told me, you understand? Let me ask you a few questions. Let me really see if you understand my situation. He asked me this. What time did you wake up this morning? It's actually true. I didn't understand what he wanted to do in the beginning. He's play the game. What time did you wake up? How did you come to work? Did you have breakfast? Are you comfortable? Are you stressed? How do you feel? I say, yeah, pretty good. He says, let me tell you my morning. Woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. The taxi I booked was late. My kid has been crying all the way from home to finally getting to the airport. I get on the plane. My kid stops crying. The woman next door with a baby, he starts crying. You want to rest? Impossible to rest. Excuse me. He gets to the airport, wants to take a taxi. There is a queue. He waits for 45 minutes to take a taxi. Gets in the taxi. No AC. He's hot. Gets to the hotel. The taxi tells him it's $80. He looked it up. It was $40. He's being ripped off. And then I'm there. Hey, hello. Your room's not ready. I had no idea how Mr. Jenkins felt. That is the first time I really understood what it means. So I said to myself, how can I do this better, right? What should I have done differently? Did I have all the information or the tools needed in order to do a better job there? And I did. This is what you have to do, ladies and gentlemen. It's very simple. How would I feel in that situation? And why? I took a business-centric approach. Check-in is 12. Checkout is 12. Check-in is 4. It's 10 a.m. What do you want? If I would be in his shoes, how would I feel? Take a second. You have the story. You have all the details. How would you feel? I'm going to take a wild guess here. Tired? Exhausted? Frustrated? Eager? Looking forward to starting your vacation? Is that right? Does that kind of make sense, right? So why didn't I say, Mr. Jenkins, you must be exhausted after such a trip. Leaving early, traveling with a young baby, it's not the easiest. If I were in your shoes, I would also be looking forward to starting my vacation. Unfortunately, and you transition to the resolution process. That is connecting on an emotional level, ladies and gentlemen. How would I feel and why? We still have to fix the problem. Still important. There is 3 things I want to share with you that I believe to be very important here. One, you want to offer options to your customer. Remember, we're talking about a human-centric approach to problem handling. We're not talking about a solution-centric approach. You want to keep the customer informed and you want to close the loop. What do I mean with offering options? One of the most common or repeated problems that I had to hear is my room wasn't clean. It's 4:30, 5:30 in the afternoon. You're in a hotel, you come from the beach, you go to the room is dirty. Come to the front desk, I complain, my room isn't done. What do you usually hear is, I'm sorry, I understand. Wrong, huh? Let me send you housekeeping. Right? There is one problem with this, ladies and gentlemen. If we take into consideration the customer, is this convenient for the customer? I would prefer telling him, listen, we can send somebody now, but not sure if that's convenient. We can send somebody as you will go for dinner or as you leave the room tonight. Or even better, why don't I send you some shampoo, some towels, some shower gel, so you can get ready for dinner. And then I come and I clean the room as you're outside. What option would you prefer, Mr. or Mrs. Smith? I'm giving the power to my customer, ladies and gentlemen. At least the perception of power. I control the narrative. I gave the options. If you don't do that, the customer will tell you, yeah, sure, give me the Ritz-Carlton suite. You control the narrative. Keep the customer informed. What the hell is this, right? What has this to do with keeping the customer informed? My first hotel, same, Tenerife. A lady approached me, Ms. Pavlovich, approached me at the front desk. I was off for 2 days. She tells me, have you found my doo-doo? First mistake, I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. Let me tell you something. That sends a wrong message. I asked her to explain. She explained to me, housekeeping took the doo-doo away. We've been looking for 2 days. Nobody cares. I said, I do. I got this. I'll get back to you as soon as I have an update. A couple of hours later, I get a phone call from the front desk. I can hear her from the back. What is this? This is unacceptable. Nobody cares. Where's my doo-doo? Yannick told me he was going to tell me something. You know what I was doing? I was right here. Not in the boat. That would have been nice. In the dumpster. With 2 of my colleagues from housekeeping. That was the only place we haven't looked. My mistake was, I didn't keep her informed. If you do not give clarity to your customers, they will fill the gap with their own perception. And let me tell you, when they're upset, the perception is not good. Keep your customer informed, ladies and gentlemen. And last but not least, close the loop. The only time your problem is resolved is when your customer tells you, thank you, I'm good. Thank you now. Only then you can consider the problem resolved. But since we're here to talk about human-centric problem handling, we are far from being done. We still need to fix the relationship. Remember, the third learning was the trust is gone. It's broken. We have to fix it. And here, ladies and gentlemen, simple, thoughtful, personalized, and unexpected gesture. It doesn't need to be this, money. Sometimes money can be the answer. Oftentimes it's not. Let me share the doo-doo, Ms. Pavlovich. When she approached me at the front desk, I of course opened her reservation, I checked her information. She was staying for 2 nights already. We gave her 2 free nights. It was a suite, 5,000 euros. She said to us, nobody cares. It's a lot of money. The problem there was what? We give something without fixing the problem in the first place. If we would have fixed the problem first, and then we would have said, you know what, Ms. Pavlovich, I put myself in your shoes. And I don't think I would have enjoyed the first 2 nights. Thinking about the to-do, my kid isn't sleeping. I don't really, you know what? The 2 nights are on me. Different story, huh? It's not about the money, ladies and gentlemen. Let me actually tell you how the to-do story finishes, right? I think I should finish it, huh? We didn't find it. Yeah, that's usually how it is. When the to-do is gone, it's tough to find. We didn't find it. But my seamstress said, I can replicate it as good as I can. It was quite a good job, I must say. The only thing was we used sheets, and the sheets were slightly darker than the initial to-do. So we had to justify, how come is the to-do, why is the to-do darker? And secondly, we had to justify, where the hell has the to-do been for 2 days? We made a book. We took pictures of the to-do on the beach, in the spa, the golf. And we left a nice little note saying, your Dudu is also entitled for a vacation. It's tiring to take care of a newborn baby. When I came back, actually I have goosebumps. It's really nice. It's one of the first times I really remember having a huge impact. It was quite a nice experience. And I remember actually going back the next day. Of course, Ms. Pavlovich wanted to talk to me, even though I was not the only one to take care of her problem. But I took ownership, remember? I went to a room, hugs, thank you, this is great. This is the first time I feel somebody cared. Do you think Ms. Pavlovich and family, they came back? 100% they came back. How can you not go back to a business that cares about you like this, right? And this is really where I want to finish, ladies and gentlemen. If you value the relationship over the transaction, customers cannot be upset with you. Thank you very much.